Welcome to You Make the Difference. I'm Wanda Walker, and today we're talking to Candy Gibson about Safe Families for Children. It's a new movement that's come to LaGrange through Twin Cedars. Welcome to the show, Candy.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
And you're the coordinator of Safe Families.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Tell us what Safe Families is all about.
Safe Families is a national movement of the church to provide safe homes for children that are in need. It's just a wonderful program that reduces foster care and helps reduce child maltreatment and strengthens families all at the same time, using the church as the ministry.
That's wonderful. Now, how did it get started and who founded it?
Dr. David Anderson from Chicago created Safe Families in 2003. Since then, Safe Families is now in over 40 states in the United Kingdom and in Canada. In fact, United Kingdom just awarded Safe Families for Children in their country $4 million to implement it across their country, the UK, which is exciting.
That is exciting.
Yes.
Okay, and so tell me, what is the mission or the vision for Safe Families for Children?
Ultimately, to prevent child maltreatment and strengthen families, but using the church as the vehicle for that. That's the ministry of the church. In God's Word, He's given us, the church, the answers. And of course, we all know government and DFACS and the justice system, they need help.
Yes.
And when the church steps in really doing what they were mandated to do by God, you see a big difference. And where Safe Families has been in operation all over the country, you can see just remarkable results. Which is not surprising because God gave the church the answers.
That's right. So now tell me exactly how it works so that the people who are viewing will know exactly what we're talking about.
Well, when a family is in need, a parent, and we will accept children and families for any reason, any time. When a parent is in need, they just notify us or they're referred to us. We identify host families within the church that have been screened and approved, very similar to the way foster parents are screened and approved.
Yes.
And they take in the children in a nurturing environment while the parent is working on their crisis. We're a helping hand, but also an outreach and a ministry to the biological parents as well. It's very neat, very different from the foster care system, but just very, very rewarding for the families. Host families, they can do ministry in their home as a family. The children help, the parents. It's just a really neat opportunity for families.
Yes. Now, so what are some of the needs that you see that a family might have that would cause them to reach out to Safe Families for Children?
Sure. A grandmother that has custody of her grandchildren, say she has to go in for the hospital for a minor surgery, and she needs some respite for a couple of weeks. That's a perfect example of Safe Family. We also help teenage moms.
Yes.
So teenage moms that need a little nurturing and mentoring. So host families take in the teenage mom and the child and teach parenting right there in their home.
All right, and you know, one thing that comes to mind for me is like if there's a parent maybe who has a drug issue, and maybe they get arrested for drugs. And are going to have to go through treatment, in-house treatment, that might be an opportunity for them to seek out Safe Families.
Perfect.
Yes.
Perfect.
And then what I like about Safe Families is that the parent can feel safe also, that they're not signing over any kind of guardianship to the families. Is that right? Or do they sign over guardianship?
Just temporary. It's not the real
temporary.
guardianship.
Okay.
It just allows, say if there's an emergency that happens and we can't get in touch with the biological parent and the child needs hospital treatment, we can go ahead and have that done. But no, parents retain full custody of their children. And we're a friend to the family. We're an extended spiritual family to the parent. Host families are not paid. It's truly biblical hospitality.
Yes. So it has to be a family that has some resources to be able to provide care for this child, since there isn't any reimbursement for that. So it has to be somebody who is well established financially, so that they can provide for the needs of that child while they're under their care.
Right. And really, it's just if you have an extra bed available, just an extra plate on the table.
Yes.
It's not a whole lot. Parents still provide for their children as well, for daycare and things like that. And we help the parent with educational needs, and because we're not really taking the children away from their parent.
Right.
We're just providing respite as we mentor the parent as well, and the child.
Yes.
So yes, ma'am. We're it's a friendship. It's a ministry.
Yeah, it's a partnership, isn't it, between the family and the host family, and that's awesome. Now, what about? I know there's been a law about safe families for children. Tell me about that law.
There is a safe family law, and it's different in different states, but it's just a stipulation in the law that says that acknowledges safe placements for children. That's an alternative to foster care.
Yes.
And it's another resource, another option. 3 states, I believe, maybe 4 now, have the safe family law, or a version of it. And Dr. Anderson is working to implement and to work with legislators in 26 other states right now to implement a similar law as well. So it's very exciting.
And what's so good about this is it's such a win-win situation. And I know, like, even for DFACs, I mean, they are welcoming this program. Isn't that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, because lots of times it's hard for them to provide everything that's needed in a community, and for the church to really come and embrace this is going to be awesome for them.
It's very welcoming.
Yes, and it's really a dream come true for you, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Yeah.
It's remarkable how it all just shaped.
Right. Because you worked for DFACs, and you always had a desire that the church would begin to take its role in the community in a way that the church provided social work again, because you really see that as the mission of the church, right? So I want you to tell, what is biblical hospitality?
It's very different from our American definition of hospitality.
Yes.
American definition is, our hospitality industry, that's, the restaurants and hotels and things like that. That's just really being nice.
Yes.
Giving a cup of coffee and opening a door, that's just being nice. Biblical hospitality is risky. It's risky. It's opening up your home to strangers. It's providing for people that are in need.
Yes.
It's seeing that widows and orphans are taken care of, that the homeless and the aliens within the community, people that are from our community, they are taken care of.
Yes.
And it's the church that God's mandated to take care of those needs. In the early church, the church was known and grew. They knew the Christians because of their hospitality. That's one of the main indicators of Christianity back then, is that's what they did.
Yes, and it's love. It's opening up your heart to really love and minister. Okay, now this program or movement came here because of Twin Cedars.
Yes, ma'am.
And it's a partnership with Twin Cedars and Safe Families. Now tell me how that partnership works.
Well, the National Safe Families for Children executive director, of course, is Dr. David Anderson. Twin Cedars Youth and Family Services is the local implementer for Safe Families.
Right. Right, and so you partner together to provide this in the community, and you've reached out to the churches already.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me about the response that you've had from the churches.
It's been very exciting.
Good.
Very exciting. We've had our first faith forum And 9 churches were present. All 9 wanted to be partners with Safe Families. Very excited about the ministry. We have 5 more churches that are going to come on board with us as well. We're continuing to, of course, reach out to all the churches, but it's been very exciting.
Yes.
Very welcomed to our community.
Okay, so tell me how it works once the church signs up. I know that there's the host family, there are coaches, and there are family friends. So let's talk about, first of all, the coaches.
Okay, let me go a little bit before that.
All right.
When a pastor has really taken on Safe Families as a ministry of his church or her church, they will identify a ministry lead. The ministry lead is more of the director within the church that helps with organizing the ministry, advertising for the ministry, and recruiting. The ministry lead will identify a family coach. And in small churches, the ministry lead and the family coach can be the same person. But the family coach is more of the supervisor or the support for the host families. The host family, and they will recruit, the family coach will recruit their host families.
Yes.
The host families are the ministers. They are the caseworkers. They are the ministry partners in the church that's actually going to do the work of ministry for Safe Families, to the families that are in need. And family friends kind of come up and under the host family, and they provide services, talent, resources, time, whatever they have available to help support the host family and the biological family as well.
Wow.
So they're like parent aids.
Yeah.
Resources.
Yes. So this is not just a program for children. It's a program for families.
The whole family.
Okay. Tell me how you might help a family whose children are in a host family.
Well, depending on the parent's needs.
Right.
Say that the family the biological family is going through some drug addiction. She may be unchurched. A lot of times the biological family does not have resources and family resources available. So the church becomes that family, the resource, the mentor, the friend to the biological family. And she will help her in any kind of ways, providing resources that she might need, clothing or food, shelter, encouraging her as she may be going through drug rehab.
Yes.
But just truly being a friend, and above all, sharing the love of Christ.
Right.
Because change is done more effectively through relationship.
Yes.
And what better relationship that helps us is the relationship of Jesus Christ. And that's just
and
what I'm excited about.
Yes, and that's just the key to the whole program, isn't it? And as you were describing what you might use to come around the family in a church setting, I was just thinking about in my church. We offer counseling services, and so that would be available to the families that my church would be serving.
That would be great.
Yeah, so that would be. Okay, so let's talk about if you are in a church that is open to the program and has the program established. Let's talk about who can volunteer. Who can volunteer to be a host family? Who can volunteer to be a coach, and who can volunteer to be a family support?
Really, anybody that has a passion, a desire to help someone. Really, that's usually all it takes is a passion. Of course, host families are screened and approved with background checks and drug screens and things like that. But that's just for safety for them and the children. But really, anybody can be a family friend.
Yes.
But the driving force of Safe Families is the host families who do the work of ministry.
Yes, and I was thinking too, like if you have a family in your church that's hosting, and you know they're hosting, then the congregation can be very welcoming to the children who come in, or the mother who comes in with the children, and undergird them and support them in any way that they can. So that, and also it provides mentors in a family that may desperately be in need of mentors, good role models through the men that they see or the women that they see. And so that will be very helpful in the lives of young people.
That's right. And that's what's missing so many times in our society. Whether, it's just having somebody to call when we have a problem, somebody to call when you need somebody to just babysit or need a break.
Yes, yeah.
Too often they don't have anyone to call. Safe Families really opens the door to people that are unchurched. And brings them into the church,
right.
Introduces them to the church, and then there's relationships and resources that begin to really help change and strengthen that family.
And it gives the church an opportunity to speak into those young people's lives. And I know, and you know, the power of having somebody speak into your life and let you know that you're valuable and worth greatness, and that there's greatness in you. And so, there have just been many stories of how a pastor has spoken into somebody's life, or a Sunday school teacher has spoken into somebody's life, and it's really turned their life around. And so I think that will be a big plus that the church can offer too.
That's right. Even if it's just for a couple of weeks, the impact somebody can make on a child's life just in a couple of weeks is phenomenal.
Yes.
I mean, I can remember, teachers that have said things to me just once, and I still remember it today.
That's right.
It's very, very effective.
Yeah. And so what about the length of time that the children will be in the homes?
Well, it depends, of course, on the parents' needs, but usually within a week to a month. It's very, very temporary.
Yes.
Not long stays at all. We want to reunite the child with the parent as quickly as possible. Help support the parent as quickly as we can, and we're able to do that more effectively, more quickly, because we don't have to go through the court system. And a lot of times, just by giving the parent resources, just by undergirding them, that's really all they need. Children are very resilient, but
right.
parents are too.
Yes.
And with just a little bit of help, it makes a big difference.
Yes.
So it's short term. We want to reunite the family as quickly as possible.
Yes, and I know, just raising my children, there are times when you just need a break, right?
That's right.
Yeah, and so that would really be nice. Now, I know Safe Families has certain goals that it's set for the movement, and also Twin Cedars has some goals that you set. Share with me what those goals are.
Short term, I would like to see at least 10 churches come fully on board within the next 3 months, and have at least 10 to 20 host families identified. By the end of the year, we'd like to have at least 40 host families or more.
Wow.
And that's pretty easy to accomplish, I believe, in our community.
Yeah. Yeah. This is a strong community, and to me, it's like once they know the need, once they know how they can help, then they'll do it. And so, yes, and I think LaGrange will support this movement.
I believe so too. We're seeing that.
Yes. Okay, so how can churches get involved if they're interested? If they see the program, they haven't attended a meeting yet, but they're interested.
They can contact us at Twin Cedars, 706-298-0050. My extension is 1073. Or email me at cgibson@twincedars.org.
Okay.
Just contact us. We'll get the information that they would need. They can come visit us at the Coleman Center at 701 Lincoln Street. Just walk in and visit.
Okay. And is there training?
There's training, online training, manual training. Of course, we will help facilitate training as well. It's not a heavy ministry. I want to really say that it's not a burden.
Right.
It's really it's really enjoyable,
Uh-huh.
and it's light. A little bit of help goes a long way. It really
Yes.
does. And I believe that churches will see this as something they can do very easily.
Yes. And so the training that they would go through, how long is that training?
They can really do their training in one day if they want to read everything and spend about 4 to 6 hours listening to the videos. To go through approval of a host family, they could probably do that in a couple of days. But we would have to have the fingerprints, which takes a couple of days.
Yes.
And background checks, which I think takes maybe 24 hours. So within a week.
Yeah. Well, that's really fast. So where will you get your children from? Your referrals? Where do you expect them to come from?
Of course, the DFACs, if they have something that comes up that they feel like Safe Families could offer help more effectively, of course, from them. From other partner agencies within the community, from churches, from parents too.
Yes.
Parents can call us directly, and we accept children anytime for any reason, and we'll be glad to help. But from various resources, from
Yes.
churches.
And there's some programs even within Twin Cedars that you might get referrals from. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Of course, there's Darkness to Light. There's the Prevention Coalition. There's, oh goodness, of course they have foster care and group homes as well. So.
Yes, Twin Cedars just does so much in
They
the
do.
community. We're so thankful that they're here. Okay, and then let's say what your contact information is again.
Okay. I'm Candy Gibson. My email contact is cgibson@twincedars.org. Phone number is 706-298-0050. My extension is 1073.
Okay, and Candy, I believe that what's happened with Safe Families is a part of a dream that you had one time. Would you like to tell about the dream that you had?
Oh goodness, it's been a few years ago. I did. I had a dream that this angel was giving out
Missions.
and it was like a scroll she
Yeah.
had. And I remember just standing around seeing her hand those out to different people and thinking, oh my goodness, it wouldn't it be great to get one? And when I thought that, as soon as I thought that, she looked at me and handed me a scroll. And I remember reading it in the dream, but I can't remember what it said. But I knew it had to do with the church and social work, because that was my passion for 10 years.
Yes.
Is to help the church take back social work.
Yes.
Thank you for remembering that.
Yeah. And so you couldn't remember what was on it, but you know that you have been given a mission. And you have been discovering your mission as you have walked out the rest of your life since that dream. How long has it been since you had that dream?
I can't remember. I know that
It's been a few years.
it has.
Yeah, it's been a few years. And I know you began to work out or walk it out and discover the mission, and that's taken you into several different areas. I know you worked on crossover ministries, and tell me what that ministry was about.
Really just helping offenders with crisis that they were going through, helping them think differently.
Yes.
Not telling them what was wrong, but helping them see it without us telling them, and changing behavior for the better, to help them identify resources that can help them. And then from that,
Yes.
it took me, of course, helping with the Homeless Coalition. That's been so rewarding. And helping with juvenile court with their trauma awareness.
That's right.
That just fit hand in hand.
Yes.
And through that work, I met Mike Angstad, and he told me about Safe Families.
Yes.
And, it's just been amazing since then.
I know it is fun when God is ordering your steps, isn't it?
That's right.
And walking you into what you were created to be. It really is. And so let's do a short update about the Homeless Coalition and tell me what's going on with that.
Well, of course, we have the ongoing blanket drive.
Right.
And that's going to continue throughout the year because, of course, we don't want the blankets back. We want them to keep them.
Right.
Goodness, we're working on the warming centers, working on the protocol and opening the warming centers in Troup County. We think we have one church identified here in LaGrange and hopefully looking for a place in Hogansville and West Point soon. But just to offer emergency warming in the winter months is incredible.
When it drops below a certain degree, right?
25 degrees.
25 degrees, you would open up a warming station and allow people who did not have a home or even those whose electricity was out or those kinds of things to be able to come in and keep warm for the night. Yeah, so we look forward to hearing more about that and knowing the date for when those will be open.
Yeah. I can't wait to open those.
Yeah, and then trauma awareness. Give us an update on trauma awareness. I know you just had a meeting and I know you had a big meeting and brought in about 100 people to hear about trauma awareness. So tell us where it is.
That was the systems training for caseworkers and clinicians and partners in the community. And they were very receptive.
Yes.
Just amazed at the effects of trauma that people just don't realize.
Right.
But also the effective counseling that's very short term comparing to 2 and 3 years of counseling, within 12 weeks, 12 sessions.
Yes.
Counseling's very effective, trauma-focused counseling. Judge Key with Juvenile Court is working on his protocol for trauma. He's revamping his whole court to focus on trauma, which is huge.
It is.
And it shows the heart of the court and Judge Key to help families. As quickly as they can.
Yes, and so the counselors here are receiving training to be able to deliver trauma-focused counseling, which will be certainly more helpful for those who have gone through experiences that have been very hard.
Right.
Yes. Okay. Well, Candy, I just want to thank you for coming today.
Thank you for having me.
And I want to thank you for the energy that you have put into making LaGrange a better place to live.
Thanks.
Yes. And I just want to say to the people of LaGrange, I hope that you will embrace these programs, the new programs that are being brought through Twin Cedars and other organizations to improve the place where we live. It's a great place to live in LaGrange, and we're getting even greater. Thank you for watching You Make the Difference, because you truly do.
A year of replevin', got a promise from heaven, it's all coming.